Now, for more on the ministerial list and the issue of whether there should be immunity in the Senate but for the Senate President and the Speaker, I'm being joined on the News at 10 by a legal practitioner, Mr. Martin Oguleye. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you.
Well, let's begin with the list of ministerial nominees. A lot of Nigerians said they were not surprised. What was your reaction when you heard the Senate President announcing the list of names?
Well, I would say I was not surprised as well. The list is a mixed pot of old and the new. We have former governors, and I think the president has decided to go for a little bit of experience. And from the list, you can also see that he has a number of his followers who have followed him right from his CPC and ENPP days. So it's a mixed pot of rewarding loyalty and also getting a little bit of tested experience. That's what I think the list is about.
Yeah, you seem to be backing up what one of the senators said, that I think it was Senator Borofisa said that this was not the time to experiment, that Nigeria needs experienced people.
I would agree with Senator Borofisa because we need to look at what the president himself wants to come and achieve at this time coming into leadership. The president basically wants to come and stabilize certain things and rebuild certain structures that have been eroded. This practically is not the time one would expect that the president will be experimenting. I do not see this president as a president that will experiment. I see this president as a president that has come to stabilize the politics, stabilize our economy, revamp infrastructure and the like. So that is what will determine the composition of his cabinet. He will rather go for people who he trusts and believes are trusted and tested.
Well, the Senate has also said that things will not be as usual. The screening will not be business as usual. We heard a reporter then, the report a few minutes ago, where she was saying that 5 of the nominees are former members of the Senate who are coming back as ministerial nominees, and that the usual practice is for these people to come and then they're asked to take a bow and then they leave. What sorts of changes do you think the Senate will be, enforcing? What new methods would they be applying as they screen these nominees?
Well, I think it's important for the Senate at this time and for everybody, even for the president himself, to ensure that the nominees for ministerial positions are properly screened. This government has come in on the mantra of change, and the president has, by his body language, much touted so, exhibited low tolerance for corruption. So it's very important that the Senate also is seen to run these people through the grill, ensure that they are found not wanting in any aspect of their competence or their attitude towards corruption or their... So it's very important that they are all screened. And I will agree that the Senate should not just make it an issue of take a bow and leave.
Right before the House of Representatives, and perhaps in front of the Senate also, is a proposal to extend immunity to the Speaker and to the Senate President. Is that constitutional?
Well, Section 308 of the Constitution as it is now grants immunity only to the President and Vice President, governors of the state and their deputy governors. If the Senate wants to bring in an amendment to extend immunity clauses to the Senate leaders and the speakers of the House of Assembly Representatives, I do not think this is the time, because the framers of the Constitution had the reason for putting the immunity clause in the Constitution is to protect the people who occupy executive positions. The president, his vice president, the governor, the deputy governor.
Are you trying to say that some officers don't require protection?
Well,
this immunity that you're talking about?
well, the immunity, as we say, for the kind of society we live in, we do not need immunity to be. In fact, a lot of us are actually clamoring that the immunity for the president and the governors be actually removed.
Do you think the Senate president requires immunity?
No, I do not think so.
You don't think so?
I do not think so.
But that proposal is right before the House of Representatives. Now, if they want to enforce this, how will they go about it through the Constitution?
Well, it requires an amendment to Section 308 of the Constitution. And amendment to the Constitution, as we all know, must pass through not just the two houses of the National Assembly, must also pass through the state houses of assembly. And I want to believe that if the people in the houses of assembly and in the National Assembly are true representatives of the people, they would listen to the voice of the people, and I'm sure the pressure from the people will not allow anybody to vote in favor of that kind of amendment. Nigerians don't need...
What if it happens? What if it happens? Because the House of Reps is concerned about the Senate president going to the Code of Conduct Tribunal, saying that is there's some illegality in that. Senate president should have some immunity.
Well, it's a good thing that we have a little bit of notice. It's now left to Nigerians, civil society groups, and all pressure groups to stand up and be counted and ensure that members of the Senate do not have their way. Members of the National Assembly do not have their way.
Mr. Martin Ogunleye, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. We appreciate the conversation tonight.
You're welcome.
I've been speaking with the legal practitioner, Mr. Martin Ogunleye, on the ministerial nominees list, which was read out by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, as well as the discussion on immunity for the Senate President, as well as the Speaker. Now, hearing of the objection to the trial of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has been adjourned till Thursday, October 15th, 2015. A court of appeal in Abuja gave a new date as if the defendant filed new processes at the court. The court had earlier scheduled Monday, October 12th, to look into the objection filed by counsel to the Senate President requesting the court to stop his trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal for lack of jurisdiction. The Code of Conduct Bureau is dragging the Senate President to the tribunal over allegations that he failed to declare his assets as governor of Kwara State. Chairman of Atlantic Energy, Olajide Omokore, has talked about his encounter with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. He told Channels Television that he visited the EFCC office in Abuja of his own volition and that he was neither arrested nor picked up by the Commission's agents. He explains that during his conversation, he was not told of any charges related to corruption or money laundering. Reuters news agency had reported that Mr. Omokore was arrested for charges related to money laundering and corruption. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded the renewed support from Britain and Switzerland for the recovery and repatriation of public funds stolen from Nigeria. At separate audiences with the new British and Swiss ambassadors who were at the presidential villa to present their letters of credence, President Buhari explained that British, Swiss, and other foreign anti-crime agencies have already given his administration much help with relevant information and intelligence on public funds that were stolen and illegally transferred to personal bank accounts by officials of past administrations. The president, however, asked them to speed up the process of investigation, prosecution, and repatriation of Nigerian funds stolen by corrupt public officials and their accomplices. According to the presidency, Switzerland and Britain have been very helpful in the recovery of funds and assets belonging to Nigeria. The Nigerian military says the troops of the 112 Battalion and Special Forces in Mafa and Dikwa have raided a Boko Haram camp at Bulungwa Naibe in Dikwa local government area of Borno State. A statement issued by the acting director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, says during the operation, quite a number of Boko Haram terrorists were killed, while a Buffalo vehicle mounted with an anti-aircraft gun, a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, 2 machine guns and 1 submachine gun were recovered from the terrorists. Elsewhere, troops also intercepted and arrested a suspected Boko Haram financier and stimulants dealer, Mohammed Maina, in Bama local government area of Borno State. The suspect is said to have been arrested with a sum of 1 million naira cash and some items. When the news at 10 returns, the naira depreciates further at the parallel market. Please join us again. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano has asked citizens in the state who are yet to identify with the ruling party, the All Progressive Grand Alliance, to do so immediately by registering with the party. The governor made this announcement during the inauguration of wards and local government party executive members at the APGA mini rally in Amaigwe Square in Aguleri, Anambra East local government area. Meanwhile, the governor, who also had his membership of the party revalidated, says the exercise by the APGA members is a way of strengthening the party.
Governor Willie Obiano arrives at the Amaigwe Square, Aguleri, in Anambra East local government area of Anambra State, where he is welcomed by party faithful. He immediately joins in the frenzy of the moment, perhaps to display his fitness, zest, and passion for the party. They are all gathered for the inauguration of wards and local government party executive members.
We are asking Your Excellency to continue to lead us. Do not be deterred by the intrigues of the detractors, but it should be strengthened by the massive support and the love the people of Anambra State have expressed for you. I wish to urge everybody here to pick up your cards. If you fail to pick up your cards now, it will get to a stage it will become too difficult for you to get a card.
As the chief advocate of the party, he steps out to get revalidated, after which he was handed his new membership card.
We are urging all APGA members, PDP, APC, whatever, to join APGA. So this is an evidence of my registration. It's the movement of the people. APGA is not a political party. APGA is a movement. Movement of the people, for the people, by the people. Ebe kanichalom, ebe kanichalom, ayamarapo, denebozo, ayamarapo, denebozo.
As APGA members chant the victory songs, they are also reminded to champion the cause of the party and carry the message of brotherliness to every nook and cranny of the state and beyond.